please proceed whenever you're ready.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Marcell Wilson, founder of the One by One Movement, Inc. I am a subject matter expert on gang culture, theory. Also, I was recently deemed the expert on gender, diversity, and inclusion by the Center for Gender Diversity and Inclusion Statistics at StatsCan's CGDIS. And as many of you know, I am a former gang member and former international crime figure. Most of my expertise is rooted in lived experience. I would like to thank the Senate of Canada for the invitation and for again allowing us the opportunity to come here and represent a majority demographic that is affected by gun violence in Toronto. We work directly, boots on the ground, in some of the communities most affected. We continuously work directly with people and families who were victims and with some who were perpetrators of this violence. Our data at OBOM is sourced directly from this pool, which is historically difficult to research and obtain accurate data from. This is due to several reasons. Some examples: most of the people we serve have a lack of trust in government and are fearful of speaking out due to possible consequences and repercussion from government and or the streets. This makes it particularly difficult for academia and government bodies to collect accurate and robust data from a demographic on this subject that could possibly or potentially redirect the efforts of our government's current plan for combating this problem. We all know that gun violence is a prevalent threat to many Canadians, but especially to individuals in marginalized communities across the country. You now know that most of the guns used in violent crimes, homicides, throughout the communities we represent are illegally sourced firearms. I've said it many times, and I will continue to say it, that even one loss of life or injury to senseless gun violence is an absolute travesty. And to effectively combat this problem, we need to focus the majority of our efforts and resources on prevention and root causes. The methods and outcomes of violence is important to address, but should be secondary to root causes and their risk factors. Prevention doesn't only mean addressing root causes. It also means preventing illegal guns from entering the country, judicial punishment coupled with strong reformational efforts, investing in an underfunded mental health care system, to name a few. I do understand that some of these concerns have been addressed through amendments in Bill C-21, such as the Building Safer Communities funding, the promise to strengthen our border efforts, and others. But if we are talking about the premise of this bill is to prevent gun violence, then these amendments, or add-ons if you will, should be the focal points of a gun violence prevention bill. Sadly enough, people are killed by legal firearms in Canada. This does happen. But I think any expert or rational person can agree that when speaking about gun violence in Canada, this represents a minority. How is it that on such a major issue, the minority has the loudest voice? How is it possible that the majority, their representatives, and experts advocating for them can feel so unheard? I was researching the Government of Canada website about Bill C-21, and I read something that concerned me, and I quote, "Bill C-21 proposes to strengthen rules to prevent gun violence in our communities by placing responsible restrictions on some firearms used in Canada." I wish that this statement were true, to prevent gun violence in our communities, because if it was, I would absolutely support it. But this claim gives false hope to Canadians who don't know any better, and should be a catastrophic letdown to those who do. What I am asking from the government on behalf of the Canadians and communities we represent is to simply say it like it is. This bill is to remove legal firearms from legal firearm owners, not to prevent violence or make our country significantly safer. Please stop exploiting people who have already been through enough for a political agenda. We know better, we want better, and we deserve better. Thank you for your time.